Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, the 27-year veteran of the NYPD. There's been some, I won't say it's really breaking news, but in the Madeline Soto case, there has been body cam video released. So we get a feeling of what was going on in the hours and minutes immediately after Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns reported Madeline missing. And we have to keep in mind that one or both of them knew that Madeline was already among the non-living, especially Stephan Sterns. And perhaps, as I have felt all along, that Jennifer Soto knew about it all the time. So when we watch the body language, the police procedure in searching and trying to find a missing person, let's keep in mind that perhaps both of these people, Stephan Sterns and Jennifer Soto, know that Madeline is already gone, but yet they go through the motions of reporting her. New video shows Jennifer Soto, Stephan Sterns after Madeline was reported missing. So new body camera footage sheds light on the initial investigation into the disappearance and subsequent death of Madeline Soto. The video captures the first interactions between Orange County Sheriff's deputies and Madeline Soto's mother, Jenn Soto, and her boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, the only person arrested in this case. And on the night Madeline was reported missing at the end of February. Uh, you know, in the update, here's what the evidence the state has in Florida teen's death investigation. According to Jennifer, my daughter was dropped off close to school but never made it. She's heard saying that in this video, visibly worried as she recounts the last time she saw her daughter. In the footage, Sterns, who now faces charges of Madeline's murder, describes her last known whereabouts, stating she was wearing a green hoodie, white Crocs, and black shorts. I don't think he even knew what she was wearing. I think he made it up on the spot. Deputies said they have since determined this account was fabricated. So he was lying right from the very beginning. Throughout the video, Sterns' behavior appears suspicious. He avoids eye contact, crosses his arms, and seems uncomfortable while speaking with law enforcement. During a separate Zoom interview with Fox 35 that we all watch, Sterns can be seen in the background fidgeting and cracking his knuckles, mirroring his earlier behavior. Deputies conducted a search in the area where Sterns claimed to have last seen Madeline using a canine unit that was unable to detect her scent. And again, Soto's body was found on March 1st in a grassy area in Osceola County, 5 days after she was reported missing. Investigators now believe Madeline was likely killed before the school day began. Police have not shared details on how Madeline died or the circumstances surrounding her death. Officials previously said her laptop and backpack were found inside a dumpster at an apartment complex. Sterns has not spoken to detectives. He's not provided a motive in the girl's death, officials have said. Florida State Attorney Andrew Bain said his state prosecutors have not yet decided if they will seek the death penalty against Sterns. So all of this information is, it's not all brand new, but it's information that we haven't seen before, specifically taken from the police body camera videos. And this is something that, video tells us so much. In prior years, much earlier, when video wasn't all over the place, everywhere in this world, investigation was that much more difficult. But video brings us a picture and audio to what actually is going on, especially with police body-worn videos. You know, that's what they BWV, body-worn videos, that have shown us so much and been so huge as an evidentiary instrument throughout this nation. So, folks, hold on to your seats, hold on to your hats, your toupee, your wigs, grab your service dog, and you're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the off-the-cuff zone, the police off-the-cuff zone.
There has to be some common sense.
Yes, sir. They have the car stopped in 10th and Ranch. Might go by there.
We still don't know who pulled the trigger.
You know, shortly we will watch some of the videos with this, but this is a still taken from the video. And look at Stephan Sterns standing there with his arms crossed. You know, every body language expert on this earth, and I'm no body language expert, but I'm an observer of the human condition, and I've done hundreds, thousands of interviews. And crossing your arms is a defensive position. So are we to infer guilt from Stephan Sterns folding his arms like that? No, but let's keep it in mind. It is a sign of defensiveness. And why are you being defensive if you've done nothing? So this is the first video I'm going to show you.
On Fox 35, a look at how a murder mystery started unraveling.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
It's now been more than 4 months since 13-year-old Madeline Soto disappeared. New video evidence shows the seconds the investigation started.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
From the first interview with Maddie's mother and her boyfriend, the only person arrested in the case.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack.
To the preliminary search the night Maddie disappeared.
Yeah, we'll call it. He's just not. It's just hard.
This new body camera video shows how it all started. We're seeing Orange County deputies' first interactions with Stephan Sterns and Jenn Soto after Madeline Soto's disappearance. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. These videos were taken the night Maddie was reported missing. Fox 35's Kelsey Cairns is joining us live here in the studio tonight. So, Kelsey, we also see officers searching for Maddie, but they say their dog could not find her scent.
That is correct. And now we know why. We've been following this story since Maddie went missing at the end of February. And now we are getting a new look into how this whole investigation started.
In this video, you can see Jenn Soto appears worried. She describes the last time she's aware of where her daughter was last seen.
Went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got a notice, an email from the school.
At her side is her boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, the man now charged with Maddie's murder. He tells deputies what Maddie was last seen wearing when he dropped her off at school. Deputies now say all of this was a lie.
Green hoodie,
Green hoodie,
white Crocs,
white Crocs.
either blue or black pants,
I think black shorts.
black shorts.
Take note of Sterns' behavior. You'll notice he's crossing his arms, seemingly uncomfortable, as he describes dropping Maddie off at school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack.
It's similar to his behavior during a Fox 35 Zoom with Maddie's mother, where you can see Sterns in the background fidgeting and cracking his knuckles. Deputies searched the area. Sterns told them Maddie was last seen with a canine that very night, but the dog was unable to detect Maddie's scent.
Yeah, we'll call it.
He's just not, it's just hard. He's not giving me anything like decent.
Now, investigators say Maddie was likely killed before the school day ever started. Her body found in a grassy area in Osceola County. Live in studio.
So that gives you an idea of what was going on in the earliest parts of this investigation. And pretty much all police missing person investigations have similarities in the way they do things. Of course, the interview of the person or persons reporting, in this instance, a 13-year-old girl missing, that is so important. And not every missing person is it assumed that there's going to be foul play. And the officer that responded, he wouldn't know right away that in this interview that this girl, in fact, Madeline Soto, a 13-year-old girl, was going to turn up murdered, that she was actually murdered. So he doesn't know that from the very beginning. But some of the police procedures, one of the first things you do in a missing person case, and this is right from the NYPD patrol guide, and I think most patrol guides throughout the world have a similar procedure. One of the first things you do is you search the home of the missing person, the location they're reported missing from. Because I can't tell you how many times someone reported someone missing. If it was a young child, and a young child was found under the bed sleeping. So to avoid that type of embarrassment in missing person procedures, that is part of the procedure, to search the home. Now, as far as the inquisitiveness of the officer, of course you want to know height, weight, what the young lady was wearing, and if you can get one, get a picture, so you can use that picture to disseminate to the patrol force as they go around looking for this young girl. All those things were done. And I'm going to show you another body video from the officer's body. This is similar to the last one, but not the same. Let's get it up on the screen. It's a little more blurry, actually.
For the first time, Orange County deputies interacting with Madeline Soto's mother and the mother's boyfriend, the man who would later be charged with that 13-year-old's murder. Deputies say Stephan Sterns killed that teen before school in February, but he claimed to our reporters he dropped her off at church. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigowski.
And I'm Greg Warren. Sterns' car was later spotted driving near St. Cloud, near where the girl's body was found. Nick Pampantonis is live to take us through this newly released video.
And we're looking at that very first night when Sterns and Soto's mother reported her missing to the deputies. Videos show the pair in the lobby of where Soto's mother worked, telling detectives what she was wearing. We could see Jennifer Soto appearing worried, while Sterns, you can see there, standing, not making a ton of eye contact during the interaction, crossing his arms and supplying details when needed. He also gave that now familiar story about how he dropped Madeline off at a church near her school because he was embarrassed by his car. Deputies later called that story made up. You could see them arresting him there, along with the details in it.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Body camera video that we saw there, you can see dogs searching the parking lot of the church where she was allegedly dropped off and not, in fact, dropped off. And then Soto's body was, in fact, found in St. Cloud. We now know, of course, that Sterns allegedly took her body there and left it when she was supposed to be at school hours before that interaction. We're going to have more coming up at 6 o'clock in the studio. Nick Pampantonis.
So you see the beginnings of this investigation. And as the officers and the detective investigators start looking deeper into this, they start doing their investigative checks. They start to check video. They start canvassing the area and finding out things that is a 360 what Stephan Sterns told them. Not consistent. So when they start finding lies, now you need to confront Stephan Sterns with the truth, right? And this wouldn't be possible without all of the investigative checklist things they have done. I just want to answer someone from the chat. H. Cook, can you give insight on why they met at grandma's office and why they are not the home? You mean that was Jennifer Soto's office where she worked? Perhaps that was close to the school because she had said she'd first gone to the school to look for Madeline and to the area. So perhaps that was in the vicinity of that, and that's why it was at that office. Early on in the investigation, you have to understand the police don't have an indication right away that there is foul play, that they have no reason to believe that this is anything other than a 13-year-old girl maybe went to her friend's house, maybe ran away from home. They don't have any, I mean, it's easier for us to look at it right now and say, oh, it was so obvious. No, it was not so obvious. You know, as time went on, then it became obvious. It became obvious. And who did they look at? Right away, they looked at Stephan Sterns. And I know many of us listened to that interview, both audio and on video, of Stephan Sterns when the female detective asked if she could look to his phone. And he, being the big dope that he is, figures he did a factory reset. She's not going to find any of the bad pictures I have on there because I got rid of all of them. But this female detective was a little bit smarter than Stephan Sterns. And she finds these horrific images on his phone, which put him in jail and made him an even stronger suspect for perhaps the murder. And at that time, they didn't know that Madeline Soto was murdered. They just knew she was missing. But when they saw these photos, these horrific photos on his phone, they put two and two together. You know, I think that when we look at these videos, it's important to look at the history of this case. And Chief Mena, early on in this investigation, was the most forthcoming of anyone in law enforcement I've heard in a long time. And I want to play what he said. And this was very early on in the investigation before we knew many things that we know now.
Important developments in this case that we want to share with our community. I wish we were here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead. So our efforts will be focused on recovering Madeline. Dozens and dozens of detectives, crime analysts, and specialized team members have been working nonstop and following up on every single lead and every shred of evidence. Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephan Sterns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephan Sterns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephan Sterns returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time. As a result of that, although the initial missing persons investigation started in Orange County, the Kissimmee Police Department will now be taking over the investigation and will become the lead agency. And of course, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, all of our support personnel will be available and will still be assisting in this investigation. So this time I'm going to turn it over to Chief Holland from the Kissimmee Police Department. Chief?
So that was very, very early on in this investigation when they revealed that. And I think to most of us, we were like, well, this is pretty shocking. And I don't think many of us could believe that Chief Mena right there released all of that information. And when he used the language, I didn't like the language he used. I think he's a great guy and I think he's a great chief. But when he used, we're pretty confident, I just think he used the wrong word, that Madeline is dead. I would have used a different choice of words. We feel perhaps that Madeline is in fact dead based on certain evidence. But when he used that word, we're pretty confident. I don't know. And look, it's nitpicking. He's given a press conference. He's speaking in front of people. There's a lot of pressure. Sherry Murray, I mean, really stupid shit people do and don't think about it. I will never get caught. Very shameful that they will not own up to it. I am so happy Stephan Sterns will never get out of prison. Thank you to all law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, I think it's from our perspective, it's also important that that we look at how they got here. You know, how did they get to this point? And when we look at the officer's body cam video, and it's not as clear as what we perhaps may be used to, but it does tell a story. Let me put the body cam video up on the screen and play it.
They said it looked like 5 or 6.
5 or 6 kids at the park. All right, give me a second, bro.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Let me finish up with this and I'll give you a call.
Are you able to pick up call 931, please?
I'm currently working possible signal 8. Can I hold off on that?
Another one?
26.
We're watching police body cam video, and he's about to enter the office of where Jennifer Soto is to report her daughter Madeline.
Do they speak English?
Yes, this is mom.
This is mom? Okay. Hi there.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
You know, if you notice also, and Jennifer Soto absolutely has a hard time maintaining eye contact with the person she's speaking with.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Good.
Alright, so people are still on the scene, let's put that out in the hospital location. How long?
I'm trying to get that right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office.
Uh-huh.
I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto.
Yeah.
Date of birth?
February 22nd, 2011.
February 27, 2000.
22nd.
Oh, sorry. 22nd,
2011.
2011.
Just had her 13th birthday.
13.
Charlie Worldwide, what's the name of the signal aid?
Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now. What was she last seen wearing?
Charlie Worldwide, people hit my call 931, it's the same call.
Green hoodie.
Stephan Sterns is totally making up this description of what she's wearing. Just absolutely made the whole thing up.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts.
Yeah.
Black shorts. Okay. Black shorts. All right.
He drove
You
her
know
to
she has a
school,
friends in
but
area.
he doesn't know that she was wearing black shorts. But her mother does, who didn't even see her go to school. So Do you think that they got together and made up this story? You think Jennifer got her story together with Stephan? Or do you think was a total by chance thing that Jennifer doesn't know what Stephan did? I think that if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live. Okay.
I asked all of them.
Okay. Is this like, does she like have any places that you guys know that she'll usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Typically,
No.
Not typically.
No.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I get some.
thank you.
No problem. And what's good?
Lindy Hayes, I think they talked about this story. You know, Lindy, I think you're right. I think they got together before the police got there and they said, this is the story we're going to tell, because it's inconsistent, but stupidly inconsistent, with Stephan Sterns, who allegedly drove her to school not even knowing what she was wearing.
She goes to?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Hunters Creek Middle? All right, cool. 125. Do you have a picture of her? Can you airdrop it to me?
Yeah, I know. Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
You know, folks, just so in case you don't know, the picture would be used to by the officer to disseminate to everyone that's on patrol so that they have her picture and they can patrol around looking for her. So there is a good reason to have a picture of the missing person, and that's the reason. That's why the officer's asking for it.
Thank you. Recently, probably from a birthday party, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't there, so I had to look at.
Did you hear that? Stephan Sterns said, "Oh, we have some pictures from her birthday party," and then Jennifer Soto said, "Yeah, but I wasn't there." We'll listen to that again.
Yeah, I know. Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
Thank you. Recently, probably from a birthday party, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't there, so I had to look at. What's up?
Yeah, it does take her a long time to find the picture, right?
That's what I'm about to grab right now.
The officer's talking to his boss as he's doing all of trying to get this stuff accomplished. His boss should leave him alone for a minute.
Is this a good enough picture, or do you need a whole body picture?
Ah, ¿cómo así? Dime, que sí conmigo.
How do I airdrop? I don't know how to do it.
I got you. Okay, where's the photo?
The mom, Jennifer Soto, is going through her phone. For those that are listening, they're trying to get a picture of Madeline to give to the officer. And again, he's going to use it for all patrol members to be able to have a picture so they can search for Madeline at this point.
Okay, perfect. Give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna send it out right now to my other guys.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
So the officer is going to disseminate the photo given to him by Jennifer Soto to all those on patrol, because speed is an important aspect of missing person searches, because anything could have happened to this young girl. And it did. Something horrendous happened, right? Pamela White, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I always appreciate your insight and perspective, Bill. Well, thank you so much, Pamela. It comes from 27 years of working the streets of New York City. And as patrol sergeant, I worked hundreds of missing persons cases. The officer's taking the picture out to his car. He's going to electronically disseminate it to the entire patrol force so that they have something to use to search for this young girl, who now has been missing for several hours, if we believe this report. But we know She was probably
Newly released.
very early in the morning, and it's disgraceful. I mean, here you see the motions they were going through in this case, reporting her missing when at this point, perhaps both of them knew that she was dead. We know absolutely Stephan Sterns knew she was dead. And, I'm not convinced that Jennifer Soto didn't know it either. And here's a little picture of them, a sweet picture of mother and daughter on your screen, as compared to the picture on the left of Jennifer Soto, where she seems to be in crisis. And I think that picture was taken from her her interview with WKU TV, and she was telling the story. A lot different face than the picture we see Jennifer Soto and Madeline in a happier time. And then this crisis photo we see on the screen. So the police's job now is to get that picture out, the whole patrol force. And a more in-depth interview. I would like to sit down. If I was the detective boss responding to this job, because it's called what we would call a special category missing. And why is it a special category? Because Madeline is less than 16 years old. She's 13 years old. So this is all hands on deck. This is everyone, all the resources you need, helicopters, dogs, emergency service to light up areas, everything you need, because this is a 13-year-old missing. This has to be taken extremely seriously. But from the investigative perspective, I already don't like Stephan Sterns as an investigative boss. I'm going to have my best detectives. And would the homicide squad be on a case like this? Perhaps, even though it's not a homicide yet, but they'll call out the big guns, all right? So I get to the scene. I got some of my best detectives, some of the best interviewers, not just on the NYPD, but in the world. These guys are fantastic. I'll get two of my best guys to go at Stephan Sterns. And I think that's probably what the Kissimmee Police Department did. That female detective that interviewed him was fantastic. And interviewing someone like this, it's a very subtle thing. You can't go at the guy because you know he's lying. You got to do it subtly. You got to be nice to him. You got to use that Yiddish word we say in New York all the time. You got to schmooze this guy, right? Get him to tell the truth. And he's a wise ass, Stephan Sterns, because he thinks he's smarter than you. So when the female detective, and I wish I knew her name right now, asks him, "Do you mind if I look through your phone?" And he says, right on camera, right on audio, "Oh no, go ahead, go look through it." And right there, they have a voluntary search of his phone. If she just went through his phone without asking him and found those pictures, that could be known as what we would call the fruits of the poisonous tree. And a judge could throw out that evidence because there was no search warrant or consent to search given. But right on audio, right on video, he says, "Yeah, sure." And he agreed for her to look through his phone. Why? Well, because he thought he did a factory reset on his phone and that there was no more of those bad pictures in the phone. But how wrong was he? He was pretty damn wrong, because right away, the female officer found some images that were horrific, images that would put him in prison for the rest of his life, even if they didn't have this murder case against him. Those images. And I can only imagine how many other people were implicated through the images on Stephan Sterns' phone. Hopefully so. Hopefully they got more dirtbags just like him, and subtleties of investigative interview, interrogation, the subtleties of it, how you speak to someone. What did the female detective do once she discovered these horrible pictures? I'll tell you exactly what she did. She applied for a search warrant. And to get a search warrant, you need probable cause. So whoever this detective is, she could bring the phone right to the court and say, Your Honor, I got a consent to search from the owner of this phone. His name is Stephan Sterns. And this is what I discovered. And any judge would agree and say, okay, you followed the law. You didn't just search his phone without consent. You got consent to search orally. And perhaps she had him sign a form of consent to search. I don't know if she did or not. So the judge issues the search warrant. And then they find thousands of images, horrific images, that would put Stephan Sterns in prison. Right now, he's in jail. Put him in prison for the rest of his life. And as a result of finding all this bad stuff, he gets arrested and he goes to jail. Now, the police can take their time with this investigation because Stephan Sterns is not going anywhere. Let me play another video for you here.
He's interviewed Madeline Soto's mother and her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. That is before the 13-year-old was found dead. Sterns is now charged with her murder. West 2's Gail Pascal Brown is joining us in studio. And Gail, you looked over this video closely.
Absolutely, Michelle. And you know something? In the video, there's not a lot of what we haven't heard before, but you do get to see and hear from both the mother and the mother's boyfriend, as well as other friends and family who gather together trying to give information to find Madeline. This is Orange County Sheriff's Office body-worn camera video of the deputy meeting with Madeline Soto's mother, Jenn Soto, and Jenn's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. 13-year-old Madeline Soto was reported missing February 26. Jenn Soto had gone to pick up her daughter from Hunters Creek Middle School, but the girl never came out.
What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
This part kills me. And I know we've watched this a couple of times, but I think it's important to watch it because you don't fully appreciate it. And when the officer asks, what was she wearing? And you get Stephan Sterns to totally fabricate a story about what she was wearing because he didn't even remember.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
Black shorts.
So Jennifer Soto pitches in black shorts and Stephan Sterns didn't know. But my question is, when did Jennifer Soto see Madeline? She wasn't at her birthday party. When did she see her? A good question, right? And in this video, clearly Stephan Sterns couldn't remember what she was wearing. And Jennifer Soto pitches in black shorts. You know, and had they known at this point that this was a missing persons with foul play, you know, I would have separated both of them and interviewed them separately as to time, place of occurrence. That's where you first start.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office not only canvassed the area where Madeline Soto was last seen, but also used a canine to try to track any evidence. Jenn Soto explained her daughter was embarrassed by Stephan Sterns' car.
She didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's an image thing. She's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, you know, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Investigators also look at surveillance video, which we can't see. However, they see that she never made it to school campus.
No, nobody picked her up. I don't see her getting into anybody's car in the video. I see her sitting on property for give or take 10 minutes and then walking off property.
Distinctive beauty mark on her face here.
On her face.
On the face, like below the nose or near the nose?
Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know it if you saw it.
Now, we learned later from the investigation that Madeline Soto's body was found in woods along Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County on March 1st, just days after she was reported missing. Stephan Sterns has been charged with first-degree murder in her death. He's also accused of sexually abusing Madeline. Back to you both.
So again, you can watch this a million times, and the old expression, "A picture's worth 1,000 words," it rings true. Because how could you really explain what's going on right there? You know, what's going on in this interview? Describe the body language of Stephan Sterns and describe the body language of Jennifer Soto. Are there indicators that from their body language that Jennifer Soto knew what was going on, knew everything that was going on? I just really find it tough to think that she didn't. Lizzie Hirschberger, I agree. The mom knew something. I can't see how she didn't know something was off with her boyfriend's relationship with her daughter. If I knew, I hope she gets charges brought on yet. Lizzie, you're very wise, guys. That Lizzie Hirschberger is a frequent. Well, she's a subscriber to this channel, but she's also an author of a book called Behind Blue Curtains about her life in the Amish world, and you can purchase that book on Amazon. And I've read it myself. It's called Behind Blue Curtains, and a documentary is coming out on Lizzie Hirschberger's life, according to that book. So she's very interested in cases like this. Rock Chalk, great to see you. A true American hero. Rock Chalk, great to see you. Finally learned how in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Nighthawk 08. Hey, Bill from Rock Chalk family. Good to see you, Nighthawk 08. Guys, this is a police off the cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, then you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell, share us with your friends, your family, even the relatives you don't like. Maybe they'll hate us and you can get back at them. Well, share us with your friends and family and relatives, the ones you do like. And also, if you want to contribute to us financially, we have a Patreon with 4 different levels, and we also have a YouTube channel membership with 5 different levels, and you can become a member of the Police Off the Cuff family by being a channel member. So what you might ask, what does Joan Esposito, good point. Joan Esposito from the chat, what kind of school does it report the child's missing early in the day when she wasn't in class? They should have contacted the parents right away. Very confusing. Joan Esposito, I think that you're 100% right, and I believe that this school will be changing their absent procedure after this case, because you're 100% right. A parent shouldn't be notified at the end of the day when now the child potentially has been missing for 8 hours or more or longer. How about letting me know early in the day so I could perhaps do something about it? Good point, Joan Esposito. Thank you. So JPL, J the Stelladoro. It makes me sick that Stephan Sterns called mole on Maddie's face a beauty mark. Fred, what a creep. Yeah, I think he is. I think he is absolutely a creep. B, that female detective was amazing. It's bugging me. I can't think of her name. I can picture her clearly. You know, just most of the time, the unheralded things. Let me read one other thing. DJ Mike and Mike's Future Retro. Thank you for your great work. I'm not Ron, I'm Bill. I wish my father was still with us. He would definitely be in the chat. He was a retired NYPD detective and later sergeant. Spent most of his time in the 104. DJ Mike, it's okay. My name is Bill Cannon. I think you're mixing me up with Duty Ron. It's good to get a picture of, because so many times detectives, the work that they do, you don't see it because they're not out on the street. They're not out in the open. But the detective, the work that they do, the detective work that they do, interview, interrogation, collecting evidence. In this case, probably one of the most important, or not one, much of the important evidence in this was checking video to thwart Stephan Sterns' story. Oh, he said he dropped her off here at this time. There's no video of that at all. There's no video of his car pulling over. There's no video of him. He's lying. So with that, and then several of the other things he said, checking cameras all over the place, and not the simplest or the easiest thing to do. To do all that, you have to physically go to locations and check their video. So it's very work intensive, very time consuming, and then check against the time, place of occurrence. Remember, in another video, I said in the NYPD, as well as police departments all over the world, time, place, and occurrence are three of the most important things in questioning someone. In fact, almost every police report starts out with at the TPO, at the time, place of occurrence. That is the staple of police interview and interrogation. And that's how you catch people in lies, by questioning them on times, places, and locations. Rebecca Marie Melvin, at least one cop thought he was full of it, calling him a knucklehead. You know, Rebecca, we can all see, and all of us don't even have to be super sleuths. We can all look at the video. We can all look at his interview on TV and say, yeah, he's lying. He's being deceptive. Okay. We all saw that. Now what are you going to do about it? How are you going to get him to tell the truth? Everyone could see that he was lying. Everyone could see that he's being deceptive. Everyone could see that he couldn't tell the truth if his life depended on it. Again, how are you going to use that to build a case against him? You can't show the video to a district attorney or in a courtroom and say, it's clear he's lying. You know, a defense attorney would shred that information up and down. It's clear he's lying. Are you a medium? Can you predict when people are lying and telling the truth? So you have to catch him, use the information, and catch him in a lie. You catch him in lies, which is what you could do. Because once you start pulling that video and he says, I dropped her off near the church at this time. Guess what, Stephan? There's no video of you doing that. So you sure you did that? And in the beginning, that's how you would question someone. Are you sure? You give them the benefit of doubt. Give them an opportunity to tell the truth. But where it all fell apart for Stephan Sterns was when the female detective said, Stephan, do you mind if I look through your phone? And he, being the rocket scientist that he is, figures he did a factory reset and there's no more bad stuff on his phone. So he says, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go look through it. And then at some point in the interview, he said, could I have my phone back? And the detective said, no, I need to hold on to it for a little bit. Okay. And at that point, I believe she had already seen the bad pictures that he had on there. So she was going to take it to a judge in order to get a search warrant. Because that is a real thing in the law, the fruits of a poisonous tree. A bad search, the evidence from a bad search, if you find bad stuff and you weren't within the law, a judge can throw that evidence out, repress the evidence, because you didn't have the legal authority to search that phone. But did you get his signature saying, I give you consent to search my phone? And I believe that besides the verbal agreement that Stephan Sterns gave, yes, you can look at my phone. I believe she probably said, just sign this form that you're giving me permission to look through your phone. So, it's just in case down the road someone questions why I was looking through your phone. And then she establishes probable cause to get a search warrant based on the unlawful photograph she saw inside this phone. And we all know that probable cause are facts and circumstances that a reasonable person would believe that a crime has been committed and that the person in question committed that crime. That same standard is applied to a search warrant, to an arrest warrant. Because even for a search warrant, you need probable cause. But in this instance, the detective had consent to search, which until she finds the bad stuff, and perhaps if I searched through a phone like this female detective did and I had consent and I found evidence of a crime that could put this guy in prison for the rest of his life, I would stop right then and get a search warrant. Because what if a judge determined, yes, your initial search was okay, but once you found the bad stuff, the bad pictures, you should have requested a search warrant. You didn't. So therefore, you get the time. What time did you find all of this? I'm throwing out all the evidence between this time and the time that you could have gotten a search warrant. It sounds crazy, but that is the way the rights of a defendant is strenuously protected by our system. Let me play this also. Body cam video. They're out in the parking lot with a dog. This is near the church. Searching. There's several officers. I don't think the dog, which is a bloodhound in this case, ever got the scent because Madeline Soto was never dropped here. She was never here. These dogs are very sensitive, these bloodhounds. And believe me, they can pick up a scent. But this bloodhound did not. That's an indication that someone was not telling them the truth. And that someone was Stephan Sterns. So, so you can see they're searching the parking lot where allegedly she was dropped off. Now, this, as I said, because it was a child under 16, this was an all hands on deck search. This is helicopters, drones, foot, horses, everything possible to search areas inaccessible. And they did everything. And when you combine these searches with the investigation of a missing person, they did their job. They did an outstanding job recovering the body of Madeline Soto. I believe it was on March 1st. It was recovered. And then creating a case, a solid case against Stephan Sterns. And the thing is, we don't know if down the road, perhaps, Madeline Soto, Jennifer Soto, the mom, may also be.
Keep going wrong. Yeah.
May also be charged in this. So again, we're just looking at a parking lot where they have a bloodhound searching for the scent of Madeline. Usually they'll get a piece of clothing, something from the missing, and the dog will search, follow that scent, and the dog seems like he's doing something, but he's not. He didn't get any results because Madeline was never at this location. Dogs, of course, bloodhounds are a fantastic resource for any police department, especially in these types of cases. But we get a feel. Patty O'Grady, Bill, you always do a great job. Patty O'Grady, thank you so much. That's much appreciated. Michelle Noir, when did Jenn supposedly see what she was wearing before, after he unalived her? Michelle, that's a great question that we don't know the answer to, because we were never privy, or did they ever? I'm sure they did, but we don't know the results. Did they interrogate Jennifer? Did Jennifer lawyer up early on in the investigation? Because you know that if someone requests counsel, the police cannot continue the questioning. So interesting, but we absolutely don't know. In fact, no one has heard or seen from Jennifer Soto since this case has been moving forward. No one I know knows where she is. Elena Gonzalez, I'm late. I will play after the show is done. Hi, everyone. Folks, welcome everyone in the chat. Again, this Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. We're going after watching some of these body-worn videos.
So
It's kind of put the plant down and she's bloody.
You hear the officer with the dog, the canine handler, they would be called. Rebecca Marie Melvin, this is no laughing matter, but what rocket scientist made me giggle? How true that this guy is a piece of work. Yeah, I mean, he's what I would refer to as a loser. A loser. He's absolutely a loser, this guy. What 37-year-old man is living with his parents and then part-time with his girlfriend? Just an absolute loser, this guy is. And luckily, they have him where they want him. Let's see what happens with Jennifer Soto if down the road she is arrested. PKC Betty Holland is the name of the chief of police that did the press release. Is not sure. No, she's not the detective that did the interview, but she also is quite an outstanding member of the service. She's done a great job in this investigation, probably leading the investigation from a command standpoint. And she's done a fantastic job. Frenchie Favreau, too. Rest in peace, sweet Maddie. So sorry you were not protected.
I don't think.
I mean, this is such a sad case. Linda Butler from the chat. I think the mother is as guilty because she left her daughter sleep in the same bed as this bleep bag. Linda Butler, I think you're right. I think you're 100%. I agree. You know, as I say, sometimes you're preaching to the choir. But I know you guys, this is getting a little redundant with these videos, but this was what they were doing the night that Madeline Soto was reported missing. The search for the canine, the search on the side of the road. But simultaneously, they're interviewing, and I don't know at what point did they really say, you know something? We got to go at Stephan Sterns, because I don't believe a damn word he says. And I think that something's really wrong here, because he's lying. He's lying about so many things. How about the fact that that he was seen putting a backpack in her laptop in the dumpster? That is like such damning evidence that I'm sure that once they had that evidence, it was time to consider Stephan Sterns a suspect and not someone that was just helping. It felt horrible that young 13-year-old Madeline Soto was missing, though that in fact, well, once they, of course, found those photos, all bets were off. But I think early on in this investigation, I think it would have occurred to most experienced investigators that something is not right here. Something, as they say, is rotten in Denmark. And I don't like the way it looks. And the only way you could find out truth is asking questions and challenging people that have a real strong reason to lie. And of course, Stephan Sterns here had a very strong reason to lie, to keep his own ass out of jail. And then we'll have to determine down the road if Jennifer Soto has that same motivation to lie. What her involvement?
Insurance, tax.
You're hearing the officers searching with a canine unit along the side of the road where allegedly Madeline Soto was dropped off, and this was all fruitless because she was never dropped off at that location. Belinda, Stern's voice is so much more irritating knowing what's going on. Yeah, I mean, he's probably always been an irritating
Do you want to
guy.
go back to where she
But,
first got dropped off at? It's like not too far. It's like right up the road.
Looking for the place he allegedly first dropped her off.
Okay.
That's fine. Because it's like backtracking.
Attention dog 415, commercial audible. Milano, Bakery, 2001, Consulate Drive. Negative responders indicating entry motion.
he never, in fact, dropped her off there. Technical difficulty. There we go. Couldn't get the video off the screen. So, they going through all these motions, searching with a canine unit, searching all units on patrol is searching. Again, this is a 13-year-old girl missing, special category missing. They have an inkling that something is really, really wrong here. So I had to cover this, even though we've covered this case right from the beginning. And it is a fascinating case in one way, but in another way, it's so diabolical with this evil guy, Stephan Sterns. And I know that we were all dying to hear if Jennifer Soto is going or to be arrested or what her involvement is. I just want everyone to know this evening at 9:30 p.m., I'm going to cover the Gilgo Beach case because we are all hearing that on Thursday, there's going to be a 5th indictment, potentially for murder, in the Gilgo Beach case. And we all know that last week, well, let's go back a little bit. Several weeks ago, the Suffolk County Police was searching Manor Haven, the woods in Manor Haven, where the bodies of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor were found in 2000 to the year 2000. Y2K, remember that nonsense? Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. As a result, it seems, because no one said this to be true, as a result of that search, another search warrant was conducted at the home of Rex Human. And we are being told that the focus of that search warrant was the basement of the home. Now, we want to know, all of us want to know, did they find perhaps DNA evidence in Manor Haven from the bodies of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor that matched DNA inside the home of Rex Human? That is the million-dollar question. And tonight, I'm excited to say that I have 2 unbelievable guests. I have retired NYPD Chief of Detectives, Robert Boyce, and I have retired FBI agent, Bobby Chacon, a frequent talking head on just about every single station there is. He's all over CNN, MSNBC, News Nation, all the networks. And Bobby Chacon is a tremendously knowledgeable guy on homicide investigation, serial killers, you name it. He's got a law degree. He's a super smart guy. And one of the reasons I really like him is his dad and his brother were both NYPD sergeants. So we're sort of paisan, right? So Bobby Chacon will be on with the Chief of Detectives, retired Chief of Detectives, Robert Boyce. So tune in tonight at 9:30. It's going to be an awesome show. So, folks, that's really what I'm covering today. These new videos, these body-worn videos that show the investigation in the early stages in the Madeline Soto missing, which is now a homicide case. So, everyone, have a wonderful day. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. I'll see you tonight, hopefully at 9:30, and God bless.
One episode just ain't enough.